In this video, we're going to discuss the timestamp function. The UX cameras are pretty useful and suitable for jobs like legal videography, where you need to embed the time and date right into the video in every frame of video, and the UX cameras can certainly do that. There are two menu commands that you need to set in order to be able to make this happen. That's a little bit confusing. People see a timestamp setting and they think, I'll turn that on and now I'll have timestamp. Maybe. There are other things that you have to make sure that are in place. I'm going to show you exactly what menu items you need to do and what you need to be concerned about. The first thing you do is you go into the Record Setup menu and set timestamp to on. Now notice this is not in the display setup where you may have thought that it should be. That's because the timestamp is not a part of the display system. It's actually embedding the video with the timestamp or the date stamp, and so it's considered part of the record setup. It's changing the video footage. It's not changing the display. Once you have timestamp on, you will not have any sort of timestamping happening yet, because we don't know what to stamp into it. You have to go into the display setup menu and turn on the time and or date, whichever one you want. So go into display setup, and there are two menu items that you're looking at. One is called date/time. And here's where you tell it whether you want the date to be embedded or the time to be embedded or both. And the second menu item is the date format, so you can specify, month, day, year, or whatever you need. When you turn these menu items, when you turn on both timestamp and date time, it's got to be set to something other than off. Then the UX camera will be able to embed the timestamp into your footage. Usually. But there's still a couple of things that will make timestamp not work. And I'm going to clarify those for you. First of all, you can't be recording standard definition footage and also have the timestamp. I don't really know why that is, because, lots of courts are still running on standard def. But the only way you can get standard def is to use AVCHD SA mode. That SA is standard def. If you put the camera in SA mode, then timestamp is not going to work. So don't do that. You have to record high def or ultra high def, one of those two. You can't use standard def. You can still get standard def output. It's a down convert onto the video output jacks, so you can go straight to, for example, a DVD recorder and have a standard def recording that way, but internally can't do standard def. The other thing that can happen, that clears the UX90. UX90 is good at that point. As long as you're not in standard def and you have those menu items set the way that we suggested, then you're gonna get timestamp. Now, again, as said before, that timestamp will always be output on the video monitor and it will always be displayed. You can't turn it off with the display mode check button because it's not a display, it's actually your recorded footage. And you'll see on the LCD screen, the time and date that's burned into your video will be displayed, and there'll be a little R next to it. And that let you know that you are recording time and date into your footage. On the UX180, there's still a chance that the time and date stamp may not show up. And that has to do with what we call progressive segmented frame video. If you're set to high def or ultra high def at 23.98, 29.97, or 25 frames per second, and the output setup is set to system, then it's possible that the camera will be outputting PSF, progressive segmented frame video. This is all very complex. It's just the way that I gotta explain it so I can tell you then how to turn it off. So that'll be affecting the SDI port. So what you need to do in this case, if you're finding that timestamp is not available and you're using 23.98, 25, or 29.97p, go into the output setup menu and look at the resolution command. If that says system, then there's a good chance your camera's outputting PSF, and that's what's stopping the timestamp from working. So change it away from system. You can set it to 1080p, you can set it to 1080i, you can even set it to down convert if you want. That will output standard def. But in any case, whatever your monitor is happy with, set it to 1080p, 1080i, or even down convert, that will stop the PSF system, and that means now that timestamp will work. It will work in camera, and it will work to output it, and you'll finally have the timestamp that you're looking for. I hope that all makes sense. I hope that through this discussion, we've managed to identify all the things that you need to do and things you need to avoid in order for you to successfully implement the timestamp on your camera. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out the rest of the videos in this series for even more tips and tricks on how to use your UX camera.
Panasonic.